بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلى الله على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful, I testify that there is no true God worthy of worship except Allah, and that Muhammad is Allah's true slave and messenger. May Allah's salah and salam be upon the noble Prophet and the believers of his family and the companions and those who follow on their path until the day of resurrection. Now may Allah's mercy be upon you that the creed of Islam, the true religion accepted to Allah, is the creed of the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his noble companions, may Allah be pleased with them all, and that anyone who opposes them, then he subjects himself to the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the intense one, the intense punishment and his wrath. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam affirmed that this ummah will divide, and this is from the signs of his prophethood, into 73 sects, all in the hellfire except one. And he described this saved sect by saying, whoever is on that which I am upon and my companions are upon today. This is therefore the criteria of the correct creed, holding to this path of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the path of the rightly guided caliphs after him. This path is the path to Al-Jannah, to paradise, and the other paths are only paths that lead to destruction and misguidance. On each of these deviant paths there is a shaitan, a devil, calling for it. And since I found this matter to be confusing or confused by some, I decided to present this summarized creed of Islam, written by one of the young and emerging scholars of our times, who died recently, may Allah's mercy be upon him, Sheikh Dr Saleh bin Barjas Al-Abdul Karim. And it is entitled Al-Mu'taqad Al-Sahih, the correct creed, and this is its fourth print, which came in the year 1423, corresponding to 2002. The people of Ahl Sunnah accepted the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the death of Abdul Salam bin Barjas bin Nasir al-Abdul Karim, who died on 13/2/14/25 of the Islamic calendar in a car accident on the road between the eastern province and Riyadh, on the highway while the Shaykh rahimahullah was attempting to avoid a camel on that road, and the decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has to pass. Shaykh Dr Saleh is known to the scholars of Ahl Sunnah, and was evident that many of them attended his funeral, and many of them recognize that the knowledge of Shaykh Dr Saleh transcended his young age. Some of them said he would have been a sign. The Shaykh rahimahullah was known to be a strong defendant of the Sunnah, defending it by himself and his pen and his wealth. His nickname is Abu Abdurrahman Abdul Salam bin Barjas bin Nasir Al Abdul Karim, and this family is a known family in the city of Majma'a, which is about 150 kilometers northwest of Riyadh, and this family goes to Bani Tamim. He was born in Riyadh in the year 1387 after Hijrah, raised by his two parents, a house known for their deen and righteousness. He grew up and he was known to be smart, serious and firm. He memorized the Quran and started seeking knowledge when he was 13 years of age. And his shuyukh, his teachers, recognized his distinction, and they gave him the proper attention he deserved. He took knowledge from many of the scholars of this land. From them is the Imam Al-Allama Al-Shaykh Abdul Aziz bin Baz rahimahullah, who died in the year 1420. He stayed with him and attended his classes, especially the tafsir of Ibn Kathir and the explanation of Bulugh al-Maram by Al-Hafiz bin Hajar. And he took from our Shaykh Al-Allama Muhammad bin Saleh Al-Uthaymeen rahimahullah, who died in the year 1421. He, Shaykh bin Barjas rahimahullah, traveled to be with the Shaykh Muhammad bin Saleh Al-Uthaymeen between the year 1401 and 1403, and he stayed with him when the Shaykh was giving his durus in the Haram in Mecca in the year 1402, and he lived with the Shaykh before the Shaykh rahimahullah brought his family to Mecca. He read before the Shaykh the book of Tawheed and the book of Al-Aqidah Al-Wasitiyya of Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah, and the chapters on worship from the book Zad al-Mustaqni', and the Arabic grammar from Al-Arjrumiyyah, and Qawaid Ibn Rajab, the foundations of Ibn Rajab, and Sahih al-Bukhari, half of it. And our Shaykh Muhammad bin Saleh Al-Uthaymeen rahimahullah had a high respect for Shaykh Abdul Salam. Also he took from a Shaykh Abdullah bin Abdul Rahman bin Jibreen. He stayed with him 4 years, and he read in his studies with him, he read Kitab al-Tawheed by Ibn Khuzaymah, and the classical poem of Imam Ibn al-Qayyim in the Creed, which is known as An-Nuniyya, with its explanation by Ibn Isa. He memorized about 1,000 lines of it, and he also studied with him a very important book which is called Ma'arij al-Qubul للشيخ by Shaykh al-Hakami rahimahullah, and he benefited to a great deal from Shaykh Abdullah bin Jibreen. And he also took from Shaykh al-Muhaddith Abdullah bin Muhammad al-Dwish in the year 1409. He studied with him some parts of Sunan Abi Dawood